very lovely morning to you. Welcome to News Review this morning on TV Sapiencia. My name is Choma Vicchukwemeka, also known as Oma Sweetheart on radio, TV, and social media. And I have with me beautiful.
Good morning, Nigeria. My name is Adoma Ezukeke. Good morning, Oma.
Good morning.
How was your night?
My night was hot, very hot. The weather, I thought it would have...
it rained.
It rained the other time.
And everybody was just
It was
happy.
cooler. So, but last night was something else. How are you? How was your weekend?
My weekend, I got home on Friday to a very sad news. I went to market, got home to a very sad news. I lost my mom's very close friend. In fact, her best friend.
Oh, so sorry about that. I hope she's okay. Your mom?
Yeah, she's fine.
Oh, sorry.
She's fine.
So sorry. It's all part of the whole thing.
Yeah.
Anyways, we have a couple of newspapers to review this morning for you, and we have the Punch, we have the Vanguard, we have the Guardian. Which ones do we have?
The Sun, Daily Trust, and Daily Post.
All right, so we're starting immediately with the Vanguard newspaper this morning. Poor education funding aiding kidnapping, according to ASU. We'll go after parody NGOs behind terror groups, says federal government. NIN court stops MTN, Airtel, others from deactivating subscribers' lines. CJN to new Supreme Court justices brace up for attacks by litigants. Still from the Vanguard newspaper, Tinubu reduces 263 MDAs to 161 as FEC adopts Orusaye's report. Hardship ahead, NLC rally, protest rock Edo, Lagos, Oshun. 7 killed in Makurdi rival cult clash. FG announces 24-hour total closure of Third Mainland Bridge. Stampede, customs suspends distribution of rice. Troops overpower Boko Haram terrorists in Borno, recover arms and ammunition. Ibori to Tinubu, you have shown courage approving Lagos, Port Harcourt, Calabar Road. Fire guts Kano Plywood Market. 3 siblings die of suffocation inside car in Kwara. Suffocation yet again. I mean, when will this ever stop? Like, when will people ever take... This is really sad.
Very sad.
Very, very sad. Patrolling Lagos at night, CP Adegoke on the march. Gunmen kill driver, woman abduct 2 in Enugu. Family declares bishop missing. Still from the Vanguard newspaper, panic in Lagos community over petrol spillage. 30 billion naira to state governments unverified. Akpabio apologizes to governors. FG goes after rats to halt recurrence of Lassa fever. That's quite interesting. How would they go after rats? Anyway, that's all from the Vanguard newspaper.
We keep hearing funny news.
Honestly.
All right, from the Vanguard newspaper, we move over to the Punch newspaper. We have police deploy anti-riot squad as NLC holds protest today. Court to hear suits demanding pro-Wike lawmakers sacking. Treason. Court decides Kano's bail application March 19. Customs suspends rice sale after 7 die in stampede. SANS list expectations as Supreme Court justice rise to 21. Ogun, Kogi, Taraba governors facilitate punch at 50. And still moving on, we have Edo Igadolo says, get certificate today, PDP begins reconciliation. Kogi Council chair sacked for alleged palliative diversion. Alleged palliative diversion. Always diverting it. And at the end of the day, we'll see it being stacked in one area.
Oh, I've not told you a story. Oh, there's this story. Someone brought me cassava. You know, oka. Cassava, the one that you use for akam.
Yeah,
all right? And you know, cassava that has stayed for long. You know, when you buy cassava and it stays for long, there's this weevil. It starts producing dust.
Don't tell me it had it on it.
It had the length at which it has stayed, the weevil it has produced, and the dust it has produced shows that it has stayed for over a year. Because I've had cassava. There was a time I was too busy. I bought cassava. I wanted to do akam.
Is it still healthy?
Yes, it is. It is. It is.
With the weevil inside
it? It is. The only thing is that you need to sun dry it.
Okay.
And then I have a way of, how do I say this in English? I'm just looking for the word. Rochaya.
Okay, it's just like beans that had weevils inside it.
That has dust in it.
Okay.
So this person now, according to her sister works in the local government. Okay. And she said, they gave it to her sister. Immediately I saw that thing. I knew it was palliative.
Of course.
But you know, someone who loves you gives you something, you know. You cannot
reject it.
But I asked her, where did you get this thing from? She said, her sister works in the local government, and sometimes they buy things and they share. I said in my heart, in Nigeria,
buy things and share. Local government. It's not possible.
She gave it to me and another person. You know what? I didn't want to hurt her. What I did, that other person that she gave it to me, she gave both of us, my own portion, I gave it to her.
Wow.
I told her, this thing, I would not partake of it, that this is palliative. And if care is not taken, that this could be the palliative of 2020.
2020.
Or palliative of 2022, considering the dust in the cassava.
This is very bad.
Like in the maize, the dust in the maize.
And a lot of people are dying of hunger.
I'm telling you, they get these things, they stock it, they stack it in warehouses.
At times I used to ask myself, is it laziness or what would I call this? For them not to, you know, to share those palliatives.
No, it's not really laziness. It is wickedness. Because, Adoma, if you see this maize, immediately I cited it, I knew it was palliative. I mean, as a journalist, as a broadcaster, I see these things in the news. So I knew it was palliative. And I told that other person, this thing is palliative. She was like, she said, this is your journalist. I said, no, it's not really about being a journalist. That just look at it now. You're a mom, you cook. I've bought maize that stayed for 1 year in my house. I did not use it. I knew how it was. Now, this one had a lot of dust in it, had weevils, had a lot of all manner of things in it.
That's to show you that it's not even up to just years. It's just
years. And it was stuck. And you know, when they buy these things, they use preservatives. So when the preservative starts filling, it starts producing all this dust in it.
That's very terrible.
Very, absolute. That was the day I knew that these things are real. Now, they will now share it to their family members.
Are you still thinking whether it's real? Don't you see what happened during that NSAS?
Honestly, and
the COVID-19 palliative that was supposed to be shared among people, they started somewhere. And it was, some of them were already spoiling, and people were going into those places, vandalizing the whole place.
Vandalizing it. And obviously, because it still boils down to what we're going to discuss when we start analyzing the customs, all right, the stampede that happened there. Okay, but keep on. Go
okay. FEC approves 11 trillion for 700-kilometer coastal highway. Fresh protest rocks APC secretariat over Edo governor primary. NECO releases 2023 results, says malpractice reduced by 25.4%. Zamfara Assembly suspends 8 members for alleged misconduct. Standard Chartered Posts record 1.31 billion naira pre-tax profits. NAD faults call to export doctors for forex earning. This particular one is really funny. Nigeria, my country. Ekiti unveils 12 billion naira economic relief program. NSCDC arrests 51 illegal miners vandals in Abuja. Affects Kano seals deal to revive commodity sector. Lagos, Ghanaian firm partner on waste management. Still moving on, we have LATSMA to sanction officers operating with yellow buses. Q, prevention dialogue holds in Abuja today. And lastly, we have federal government to close Third Mainland Bridge for 24 hours on Wednesday. And that's it for the Punch newspaper today.
All right, we'll move right now to the Guardian newspaper. After bloated cabinet, Tinubu okays Orosanye reports merger of NDAs. Hardship, federal government labor in emergency talks as NLC insists on nationwide protests. 5 top bandit leaders fought 8 fighters killed in deadly Zamfara clashes. Shetima flags of Light Up Nigeria project for Southeast. Constitution amendment, reps prioritizes state police, women in governance, others. Federal government cannot engage new lawyers in terrorism charges. Huriwa seeks compensation for fatal stampede, negligence at customs office. Defense headquarters allays a coup scare, threatens litigation. Court orders appearance of ex-Punch staff, others in 950 million naira fraud suit. Still from the Guardian newspaper, Edo Guba, Apapa's letter to INEC fraudulent, says LP. Economy, don't give up, explore opportunities in challenges, Makinde tells Nigerians. Pedestrians in Lagos defy warning on road crossing. Kai arrest 15 daily. Niger border still shut despite ECOWAS lifting sanctions. Ariwola restores full complement of Supreme Court, inaugurates 11 judges. Federal government okays social security payment to vulnerable families and graduates. Kingmakers, not governors, should dethrone monarch, says Etsu Nupe. 42 days after signed Lagos 2024 budget yet to be made public. Journalists seek 19 million naira for kidney transplant. Wow. Mobile industry commits $9 billion to universal connectivity. Universal Music acquires a major stake in Marvin Global. Finally, government to completely close Third Mainland Bridge to vehicular movement for 24 hours. That's it from the Guardian newspaper.
All right, from the Guardian newspaper, we move over to the Sun newspaper. Wewe calls for global action in inclusive education in displaced persons' environs. Nigeria can't work without Southeast. That's from Shetima. Constitution review. We will emphasize inclusivity, transparency. That's from Abbas. Africa needs 17 million children for primary secondary schools. UN chief. Terrorism. Ohaneze Ndigbo claims ignorance of law prohibiting association with IPOB. And still moving on, we have economic hardship. Adeboyo disagrees with federal government, calls on Tinubu to adopt Argentina model. And still moving on, we have tension as House of Reps proposes confidence vote on Tinubu tomorrow. Constitution review, NAS to consider mayor for Abuja, LG, autonomy, others, and that's from Abbas. And still moving on, we have Light Up Nigerian project, signal, new dawn for Southeast. That's from Mba. And I think that should be all. Okay, the last one we have is wedding out. Okay, this is not today's news. Okay, that's it for the Sun newspaper today.
All right, we'll move right now to Daily Post newspaper. Economic hardship. Nigeria's GDP growth rate without impact on citizens sparks concern. And Paris 2024 Olympics, Nigeria Super Falcons one step away to secure Africa's tickets. Customs suspend sale of seized food items over stampede. Still from Daily Post, NLC nationwide protest, police warn against violence in Ebonyi State. Zamfara government approves traffic tribunal. Hardship, police, NLC agree on peaceful protest in Abia. Falana urges IGP to provide adequate protection for protesters. Kogi government debunks recruiting new teachers. Please assure protesters in Kogi of adequate security. I'm not decamping to APC, Otom says. Rivers Assembly crisis, appeal court grants ex parte order for 10 Rivers representatives. I think that'll be all from Daily Post newspaper today.
All right, from Daily Post newspaper, we move over to Daily Trust newspaper. This one says, is ECOWAS gradually losing its steam? Nigerian girl wins Quran recitation competition in Jordan. And appeal court upholds jail term of Yelbo. Auditor General. EFCC arrests 11 currency racketeers in Kano. MBTA to train 200 craftsmen on formal apprenticeship. Still moving on, we have nationwide protests to go on as federal government ends in deadlock. And I think lastly we have hardship. Federal government labor unions meets at adverts nationwide protests. And that's it for the Daily Trust newspaper today.
All right, we'll move right now finally to this day newspaper. A quick one from them. To cut cost of governance, FEC okays immediate implementation of Orosanya report. 12 highlights of the Stephen Orosanya report. Federal government's last-ditch effort to stop labor fails as Ajero insists nationwide rally kicks off today. FEC approves immediate implementation of Orosanya report. Shetima, Tinubu's administration committed to Southeast transformation. Obaseki, how Edo's open public procurement system is saving costs. Economic hardship, CSOs protest in Edo tell Tinubu to fix economy or resign. NECO releases November-December examination results. Economic reforms, Tinubu begins broad consultations. And finally, nationwide protest. Falana writes, federal government says NLC not in contempt of court. I think that'll be all from the newspaper's headlines this morning. Kindly go to the vendors nearest to you to get copies, hard copies of these papers, and for the soft copies, go online to the website of these papers. They keep updating. Immediately, the Nigeria Customs Service yesterday Monday announced the suspension of the sale of foodstuffs following a stampede that reportedly killed 7 persons at the NCS Old Zonal Headquarters in the Yaba area of Lagos State on Friday. The Chief Superintendent of Customs and National Public Relations Officer for Comptroller General of Customs Abdullahi Maiwada disclosed the suspension of the exercise in a statement on Monday. Nigeria Customs had said it was selling seized food items at 10,000 naira per 25 kilogram to alleviate the people's suffering as a result of the current high cost of living and other economic hardships. On Friday, a pregnant woman and 6 others reportedly died in a stampede after some suspected hoodlums attempted to force their way into the Yaba Customs office compound. Now, some Lagos residents who thronged the NCS office in Yaba expressed disappointment on Monday following the suspension of the initiative. Anyways, the one thing about this whole thing is this is not the first time that custom, as a matter of fact, I've heard stories, I've made my research, and I heard stories that usually when customs seize these goods, right, they stack it in a warehouse. And sometimes people in Lagos, people within Lagos go to these warehouses to buy it cheaper. In fact, some people who live in Lagos allegedly said that some of these banned products that are smuggled into Nigeria, seized by custom, some of them are auctioned at some time or the other, and they now buy. That's why sometimes in Lagos, if you want to buy something in Lagos, they will tell you to go to the customs office, you know, and they have a way of doing these things through the back corner. But right now, they've come out and they said they want to sell these things to the people. Imagine 25 kg rice being sold at 10,000 naira. But we should remember that these goods that are termed smuggled goods belong to individuals.
Individuals, exactly.
Belongs to people who are at a loss. Now, fine and good, there is an existing law which bans smuggled, it bans some sort of products from being smuggled into the country. But these products are consistently being smuggled into the country. If I right now, as I yesterday on the news, it was said on the news that Custom will now deploy drones to monitor about 1,500 borders in Nigeria, where some staple products, food that we eat, are being smuggled out of the country. They are being smuggled into Niger Republic, Burkina Faso, Mali, some of these neighboring countries that people now smuggle the food that is supposed to be sold to us Nigerians out of these countries because they now make more profit. Now this food now will become more expensive. That is why we're facing shortage of food products. Okay, but away from that one, the fact that there was a stampede at a point, because I've read through the story, they said while they were sharing these things, at a point they said, okay, we're no longer sharing today. I mean, we've stopped sharing. That when they started sharing, it was moving on smoothly. At a point they said, okay, it has finished, we are no longer sharing. And you know the Nigerian thing now, the way during the palliative era, when people were vandalizing some of these properties, some people insisted, imagine over 5,000 people thronging to customs office to buy these things. I don't know what you make out of it.
You know, first of all, I would say I might just call it being mean and being wicked, because these things, like you said earlier, that they belong to some persons. Definitely. And those individuals, that's lost. And you know, one thing I should just understand is that these custom persons, they should, you know, when they seize those goods and they feel like these things are illegal, you're doing it the wrong way, you should just collect their, you know, get their details, or maybe if you want to sell it, tell them to come, you know, talk to them, know how to, you know, to negotiate with them, for them to not be in total loss, because these things, they're still human beings. Yeah. Of course, that those goods, and you're selling it to strangers, total different persons, and those people are already fighting and are already having stampedes and struggling to, you know, to get it, and some of them are pregnant women, I know, and are struggling because what is the meaning of all those things? Because there is hunger in the land. But the thing is that doing things in the illegal way, and when you seize those things, you should at least compensate those persons, because they spent money on those things. Just find a way to, you know, to make them comfortable. Yes, you seize them, but just try to know a way to, you know, to negotiate things with them for them not to be in a very total loss. But again, the thing is, one thing I don't understand about Nigerian government, because the reason why this whole thing, we are seeing it on the news, is because there is hunger in the land. Yeah. And if everything was really comfortable in the country, you will not see a lot of persons struggling to buy rice, a bag of rice at 10,000 naira.
Who knows how much a bag of rice sells right now? You know,
last week we were hearing some 7,000 naira, and I think my
7,000.
77.
I would have said, where is the place? Let's go this point. When we finish this program, let's just go and buy.
7,000 naira. But
50 kg.
Yes, my cousin that came from Lagos, he said he got a bag of rice. I'm trying to remember the particular place. I think it's around this east. He said he got it 85,000 naira. Okay. And I was like, you said you got it 85,000 naira. And I was already hearing that it was 77,000. Say 70. You don't know, things that are increasing every day. Just like we were on the news, Express the other day, we were talking about a carton of Indomie. That carton of Indomie was 16,000. Next day it was 17,000. Next day it was 18,500. And when I got home this Friday, I heard some person saying that it's now 20,000 naira. And it's really very funny. And the way things are going in this country, I'm even scared that.
Do you know how much sachet of water sells right now?
15 naira.
A set of 10 is 5,000 naira now. But if you buy from the distributor, they will sell for you. In fact, we bought on Monday a set of 10. I had to pay 4,300 naira. Adoma, this is something that we used to pay.
Where did you get where did you get 500 naira for a set of 10? Please, I need to go there.
My landlady, she sells.
She sells
4,300. I was even shouting. In fact, I had to go to her in the night. I was like, what is going on? She said she's even pitying people. She said they sell 5,000 naira for a set of 10. That means a bag goes for 500 naira. Then one sachet water goes for 50 naira. As that last week, we were buying 2 sachet water for 50 naira, right?
Mm-hmm. You know, you said this, and I was surprised because, you know, we got bags of water yesterday, and it was 600 for a bag.
Wow.
600 naira for a bag, Oma. And that is why you said 500. I need to, like, you need to, after this program, you need to tell me.
Even the 500 naira, I'm still protesting. In fact, there is this place.
You need to tell me.
There is this
I'm
place.
going to follow you to that your landlady. We are going to. Yeah.
I am protesting. There's this place around Cole Street, inside Onitsha. They said they sell drinking water. They sell in gallons. In fact, I'm contemplating going there to buy water in gallons.
Have you Have you checked how much sardine is?
Oh, you still eat sardine?
No, I'm just asking you. It's
been a long time.
I wanted to, like, test it.
It's been a long time.
I wanted to, you know, to
Please, how much?
Just guess.
I don't know, because it's been a long time since
the last time I checked, it was 1,020 naira. Now on Saturday, I wanted to, you know, to check it again, because I kept on checking it. I wanted to check it again. I heard it was 1,515. I don't know whether it's because it's in my area, GRA. That's because, you know, they got it from the market. And when I heard 1,5, I was like, okay, if GRA is 1,5, that means
market should be like 1,2 or 1,3.
Sardine that used to be there was a time they used to sell it 80 naira, 120.
In fact, the last time I tried buying sardine, the last time I tried buying was 150. They increased it to 200 and something, and I got angry. It's been long. I got so angry and I stopped buying. I said, what's even in that sardine? Let me be buying fish that you can even get.
And do you know the funny thing? Do you know the funny thing is that it used to be like 4 or 5 fishes inside it. But now when you open it, you will now be seeing 3. At times you will now see 2. At times you will now see 3.5.
Wow. So what's the contents? Is it more of oil?
More of oil. More of oil.
And you know, spaghetti right now is 1,000 naira. The last time I went to the market. I was in the market last week. Last week, Thursday, Friday, they said spaghetti is now 1,000 naira. So I don't know how much it's going to be now.
Maybe it's the brand you got. Because there's a brand I got, you know, all these things. The reason why I'm saying is because I went to market on Friday. The brand I got on Friday was 1,500.
Ha! And I'm even saying 1,000.
Oh yeah, the brand I got on Friday was 1,500. So the thing is really growing, because you go on the internet. So I heard someone saying that Indomie, there's a particular brand that one is 500 naira, and the day I went to get it, like check for one sachet, I was told it was 600 naira.
Wow. And
are we now talking about egg?
Egg sells for, it should be 250 or 300 now. Okay. That's if it has not increased. Because a crate right now sells, the last time I checked, a crate sells for 3,500. That was 2 weeks ago, but I know it would have increased by now. Bread.
I went to get bread on Friday. I could not even, the place we used to buy bread, I didn't see any bread. I was not asking what's going on. Then I said, you know, bread is real, everything is now very expensive, and these persons that are not even bringing bread all the time for them. I had to ask myself, so it has gotten to the extent that it's not affecting bakers.
Sad.
Very,
do you know,
sad.
I bought bread because I usually buy, because I noticed that if you buy in sets, it's cheaper than if you're buying one. Okay, so I bought bread 2 weeks ago. In fact, I bought 3 weeks ago. She told me 850 one set, the small ones. I said okay. When I came the next week, she told me it is now 1,000 naira. That was last week. Like bread now for one set, 2 weeks ago, 1,000. Then I went last week. She said bread at go. I said how much? She said 1 tray, and she removed her face. 1 tray. I said 1 tray. I said 1 tray. I said, now how much is one? She said one is 150. Now this is the smallest. You know, there are different brands of bread in Onitsha and in Anambra State. So it depends on this particular brand I'm talking about. Is the person that sells the lowest. Even when other people were topping money, he wasn't topping money.
Let me tell you something. You know this thing they used to say, beggars. A beggar does not have any choice. But this period, beggars have plenty choices.
Honestly.
Let me tell you something. I went to Holy Trinity on Friday, and I saw a lady. She was like, please give me money. I want it. I just checked my bag. I brought out. I saw 500. That was the least money I had. I just gave her the 500. She now said, give me now. It's too small now. I want to eat.
You give her 500.
I was like,
and she's telling you to give her more.
She not say, things are very expensive. Please now. She was following me. The child, she just stood. I was just walking. The child was following me. I was like, what is really going on? Now beggars, they have a lot of choice to make.
Well, they only have choice when they have someone to give them, right? They had you to give them 500 naira and there. But sincerely, you know, all these things that's happening, this stampede, you know, all the challenges we're facing in Nigeria, everything is
because of what is going on.
Okay, now imagine a last-minute meeting called by the federal government to avert the proposed nationwide strike. Nationwide protests by the Nigeria Labour Congress ended in a deadlock yesterday. So NLC, they are insisting on this protest, and there's been a lot of warnings from different places. First of all, the federal government, you know, the federal government, it has a way of using the law against the people. First of all, there was a court injunction, a court order saying that the NLC should not protest. And now Falana, all right, has written to the federal government telling them that no, that NLC, they are not committing any contempt of court, that they should go ahead with protest. While we were reading the headlines, you saw in almost all the newspapers where the state, okay, Abia State, they've said, okay, the police will be with them. This other state, everybody is mobilizing, and the protest is happening today and tomorrow. I'm just wondering, it's still early in the morning, 7:36 a.m. from Nigeria. I'm just wondering what it's going to look like by the time it is 12 noon, because by 12 noon, a lot of papers, news will filter in on what is happening all over Nigeria from different parts of the state. And what is this protest all about? Still, all the challenges started on May 29th, 2023, when the government in power, led by President Tinubu, came up with the removal of fuel subsidy, and our lives has turned 360 degrees overnight. We actually thought it was going to get better.
Without proper planning, he just stood there and said fuel subsidy has been removed.
Everything, it's affecting everything. Okay, last night, someone was telling me that dollar dropped, that it's now 1,500 as against 1,800 and something. Or
it was 1,900 last week.
So someone was telling me that dollar dropped last night, 1,500. That things will come down, that things will come. But we hope that things will come down, and we sincerely pray that this whole thing that's happening is not somebody somewhere. You know, there are different conspiracy theories about people, about this whole inflation, this whole hardship being inflicted on Nigerian masses, poor masses, by groups of individuals who are there trying to dictate what happens in Nigeria.
Obviously.
We do hope it is not the truth. You have something to say?
Of course, you know, because this whole thing, we're talking about dollar increase and dollar decreasing. I think last week I was checking some things on the internet, and I saw some persons on social media. They said that they like the way dollar increased, though, but yeah, it's going to affect some persons, because you know, those people that are talking like that, they have investments in dollar. They have dollar investments, and those people, they are really scared that when dollar decreases, is going to affect their investment. And this is so sad that someone that is living in Nigeria, you're talking like this, meanwhile you're doing buying and selling in Nigeria. If you're actually importing goods, it obviously is going to be affecting you. And that is why you see so many persons doing buying and selling in dollars that are living in Nigeria. And you know, there was a time I was looking into this whole thing. I was like, why would someone be in Nigeria and be doing buying and selling in dollar? You're in Nigeria and you're speaking in dollars. You're selling a handset in dollars. You're doing this and that in dollars. And I just sat and I thought of it. I asked myself, could it be that those persons, they got something, maybe they got this phone when dollar was like 1,000 naira, and before the thing got into Nigeria, dollar has already increased to 1,900 naira, and then they're already going to be at loss if they sell it with the rate of what they got it before at 1,000 naira. That is why you see some persons, they keep telling you that if you don't buy it, that if you want it's everywhere on all those people that sells things on Instagram, all those social media. It's everywhere. They'll tell you that if you want to buy anything, you should calculate and know the rate of dollar now, because they're selling it in dollar, and you know the rate of dollar before you to buy anything from them. And
so you don't lose.
Yeah, because and before you make any payment, you have to ask them. Don't just see that, okay, they've written this is 20,000 naira, I want to make a payment. They're going to refund you your money, or instead they'll tell you that there is nothing like refundable policy here. You have to like add the extra money for you to get what you've already paid for. And this is so sad that some persons are in Nigeria. I don't know whether to to be on their side or to, but at the end of the day, we are going to suffer.
It's affecting everyone.
It's going to affect, is in fact not going to, it's already affecting everybody.
It's affecting every one of us, because you find out that the challenges we're having, everything is interconnected. Just imagine, we had stampede. It's because of hardship, scarcity. Today we're having protest, right? And by 12, like I said, by 12 noon, news will filter in of what's happening all over the country. And we do hope and sincerely hope that it will not be infiltrated, because as of yesterday, Joajero, the NLC president, was saying that the federal government, not really the federal government, he said that some people have perfected the plans to infiltrate the protest. And he actually said that the police should be there, right, to ensure that protesters are safe, because that is their job. It is the job of the police to secure protesters. Then it is the job of protesters to air their grievances.
Exactly.
I mean, all over the world, we've seen it, even in developed countries. They protest, don't they?
They do.
They do. Like, they literally do. Whenever we talk about protests, it's as if it's alien. It's not alien. If you look across UK, in fact, so many countries are protesting over one issue or the other. But the most important thing we're asking for is that it is really important that it is safe.
This NLC, I don't know why I'm only going to believe them when I see the protests going on.
Let's try to believe them this time around.
No, I've tried to believe them so many times and they failed. So it's better I just wait for them. When I see it, I will believe that, yes, they're actually serious. Because this is not the first time they're talking about this. Either they're talking about strike and they're talking about what the federal government is going to do for them. And at the end of the day, the federal government will just do like this to them and they will calm down.
Let's see what happens. They said it's Tuesday and Wednesday. Today is Tuesday. Tomorrow is Wednesday.
We're going to be here.
Let's see what happens. Moving things along, the Ohaneze Ndigbo Worldwide has called on the people of the Southeast region to invoke the indomitable Igbo spirit of brotherliness, hard work, ingenuity, wisdom, resilience, inventiveness, perseverance, and capacity to turn adversities into diverse opportunities as economic hardship in Nigeria continues to deteriorate. Most importantly, in a communique issued after a meeting of Southeast leaders and stakeholders held in Enugu and chaired by the President General of Ohaneze Ndigbo Worldwide, Chief Engineer Emmanuel Iwayan, the body also enjoined the governors to step up security networks in their various jurisdictions and commended Engineer Iwayan in his recent message to Ndigbo that no Igbo group or community in Nigeria or in the diaspora should join in a planned protest against the government of Nigeria. Ohaneze Ndigbo has told all the Southeasterners that they should not join in any form of planned protest.
Really?
So I'm just wondering, with this NLC protest that will be happening today and tomorrow, does it mean that Southeasterners are not going to be, or states in the Southeast will not be part of it? Does
it mean that we're not all affected? I think these people that are trying to, to bring enmity between the Igbos and the other tribes, because why are you telling this particular part of the country not to protest while others are doing their protest? It is not possible, because everybody, we are all suffering. It's not just like some persons are feeling like, yeah, it's not really affecting them, but at the end of the day, it's affecting, because you buy fuel, you buy foodstuffs, and at the end of the day, it's affecting everybody. So this thing he say, I do not support him, because everybody should air their view. Everybody has the freedom of speech, right? You have the freedom to complain to when things are not really going very well in the country. So I do not agree with what he's saying, because this thing he's saying is trying to bring people to start hating the Igbos, to start talking about these people, other parts of the countries that are protesting, and these persons that are feeling too big, all these negative words are going to be coming into the part of this country. So I do not agree with him.
You know, let me come from a different perspective in that when you look back to history in Nigeria, Igbos have really suffered the brunt of different protests. At the end of the day, you look at the Civil War. At the end of the day, it was some kind of a massacre for the Igbo nation. You know, most of the times I try so hard to avoid reading all over the stories of the Civil War, how the Igbos suffered. And over the course of time, a situation where there is a challenge, for example, there was a time, it was a beauty contest, right? There was a cartoon by a journalist in a different country. People started protesting in the north. And when that protest started happening, Igbos were the target. Any protest that happens in Nigeria, Igbos are the target. Think about it. Every protest. In fact, I served in the north. I served in Bauchi. I served between 2008, right, and 2009, all right? I witnessed a protest, right? In fact, during that protest, the first target has always been Igbo market. As a core member in the north, we were always told to be on the lookout. I'm telling you, 2009, when the security situation of Nigeria has not deteriorated to what it is right now. Now imagine that time where as a core member, I had to run out of my house. I had to run to the barracks. In fact, I left Bauchi State from the barracks. I packed my bags. I did not even, some of my, I couldn't buy TV and the stuff that, so I just had my clothes because we were always told to be on the watch out. Now imagine a situation where there's a little protest, Igbos are the target. In the north, wherever, okay, look at Lagos. Look at the 2023 presidential election. Look at what happened. Everything, Igbos are the target. So if the Ohaneze Ndigbo, for the first time in history, can actually stand with one voice in unison and say, Igbos should not be part of any protest. To a large extent, I want to believe that they know what they are saying because little thing, Igbos are the target. Little thing, Igbos are the target without any form of prejudice, all right? But the thing is, just like you said, it's affecting everyone. It is no longer an Igbo thing, a Yoruba thing, and Hausa thing. This is the entire Nigeria, the entire country. I mean, I bought fuel, how much? 850, what, right? 850. This was as our last Sunday, 750. As our last Sunday, I bought 670 when they were still selling 670. Now this Sunday, today is Tuesday, right?
Yeah.
This Sunday, I bought 750. Yes, for a liter of fuel. So a liter of fuel is not asking you whether you are Igbo or Yoruba or Hausa, which is very important for every one of us to note. So the thing is, the question why? Why are we protesting? What are we protesting? What are we asking for? All right? If it's about what concerns all of us as individuals living in Nigeria, because fuel price is not going to ask you whether you're Igbo. I've said it before. Okay, so but the beautiful, another thing, if you read down the communique, another thing they said that really very, very important is that he also advised all Southeasterners, governors, religious leaders in the Southeast to invest in agriculture. Okay, he said, the group also urged governors of the region, council chairmen, traditional rulers, and town union president generals to take advantage of the upcoming farming season to catalyze massive agricultural production for sustainable food security in the Southeast, which is really one thing a lot of persons are running away from: agriculture. Actually, in the Sustainable Development Goals of 2030, agriculture, food security is number one. Food is, I mean, if you don't eat, food is life. Like, I don't know why a lot of us, I have a farm.
Yeah, you've told me before.
Mm-hmm. So we are even Sapienza as an organization even supports the fact that people should get into agriculture.
But the funny thing is that I really don't know why people shy away from that part.
Yeah.
And they don't know that there are lots of money in
so much money
in agriculture,
so
because
much money.
This is something people consume every day. You cannot go a day without eating.
It's not even, except you're fasting. Even if you're fasting, by 6 p.m. you eat.
Or except you're from a very, very poor background that you're still trying to, to get something to, even figuring out how to, to feed just for once in a day. But the thing is, agriculture is something that sells every day. It is something that if you venture into it, you're going to be, very huge.
I'm telling you.
Very, very huge.
I think it's really an opportunity for all of us, get into agriculture. That space in your house, that little space in your house, please plant something. Because there's currently a training going on in Abuja. I wouldn't want to start talking about, they are talking about genome editing. Genome editing means addition, subtraction, removal of DNA in cell organism. That's genomic. There are genetically modified crops.
Okay.
These genetically modified crops are crops that have been modified genetically, right? There are some elements of the natural things that makes a crop are no longer there.
Okay.
These are advanced biotechnology, advanced technology in agriculture. Now, if we are talking about genome editing means editing. You know editing now, Adoma, we do editing. Yeah. Imagine when you go into the studio and you're editing. No, but I told one of the journalists there in that training, I told her, you people can baptize it any name you people want to baptize. I know what you people are doing, but I don't want to get her. I told her I don't want to get you started. She told me she doesn't want to argue. I said no problem. Let me just keep my peace, because this person might start thinking that I'm trying to put down what she's doing. But genome editing is either you're adding or you're subtracting. But they're going to tell us, okay, that they're adding, they want to make sure that crops yield, that when there is flood, these crops will be resistant. Like it will be resistant to flood. It will not be washed away by the flood. Who is deceiving who? Adoma, who is deceiving who?
We're deceiving ourselves in this country.
Anyway, moving things along, now we head to education. The National Examination Council on Monday released the results of the senior school certificate examinations conducted between November 20 and December 20, 2023. The exam body, which announced the release of the results in Niger State, said a total of 74,950 candidates took the exam, out of which 50,066, representing 67.35%, got 5 credits, including in mathematics and English language. It also revealed that 8,518 candidates were booked for malpractices, noting, however, that the figure was lesser than the 11,419 recorded in 2022, and they are now shouting that as malpractice reduced by 25.4%. Adoma, what do you make out of this, please?
Should I say this is a good news?
Oh, really?
Malpractice reduced. It should be a good news.
Is it in practical or in theory? Like, Adoma, is it in practice or in theory? Because one of the things all these... Go on.
The thing is, it has reduced. It should be a very good thing. We saw it on the news, malpractice reduced. But the thing is, going into the schools to know whether if it is in practical or theory, that's where the problem lies. Are we just talking about, or we're just exaggerating it, that it just reduced by 25.4%, or is it that it's actually reduced for real?
For real.
because malpractice reducing, it's this, this thing called malpractice is very difficult, to tackle with. It's not something that you just say, you wake up in the morning and you say, I'm going to tackle this thing. No matter how you try it, it is still going to exist. But this percentage we're seeing now, I want to be like, okay, let me just be excited that it's reduced, like in my imagination.
8,518 people were booked, as against 11,419. According to their statistics, it shows that it reduced. But the main thing is, if you're going to tackle malpractice, you start from kindergarten. You train a child to understand that he or she needs to work hard, that he or she needs to sit their ass down and study. If we're going to stop malpractice, it has to start, like I said, from kindergarten. Because a situation where, Adoma, it will shock you to see and to find out the things going on in our secondary schools. In fact, one of the students that came from my program was talking to me about e-note. E-note, a situation where students go to school with
their phones.
Android phone, and they are taking lectures with their phone. Immediately, I said, what? I said, yes, I believe in technology. I'm all about technology, but there are certain things, in learning that helps learning. You see, writing on paper. Writing on paper has over the time proven to be the easiest way to learn, because as you're writing it, it is sticking to your memory. But e-note, even after writing it, even after typing it, you may still forget. You want to say something?
You said something about starting from kindergarten. I think not just from the kindergarten, we should also talk to the teachers.
Yeah.
Because some schools, the teachers probably, I don't know whether to call it laziness, to teach.
Please
properly.
call it laziness.
To teach properly. At
Please.
the end of the day, they want to help their students with this expose for them to pass, so that at the end of the day their school will come out with flying colors, or maybe this classroom is doing very, very good. So not just the kindergarten, we also need to talk to the teachers. We need to like coach them, because these things it starts from somewhere.
Yeah.
It starts from somewhere.
I agree with you. Finally, traders at the building Amobi Plastic Market in Onitsha, Anambra State narrowly escaped tragedy at weekend Friday when a portion of a 5-story building adjacent to Korea Plaza collapsed. The collapse occurred between 8 to 9 a.m. following about 40 minutes of vibration. Amazing. The alarming incident came to light during a routine inspection by the Onitsha team of the Council for the Regulation of Engineering in Nigeria. Even as we await for more leads on this particular story, it's really important that we note the fact that there's been consistent building collapses in and around Onitsha. And Onitsha is such a place that you come and you see people citing buildings in places the buildings should not be there.
Should not be.
And I don't understand why a construction worker, somebody who is managing a particular building, will not use the right rod, the right cement, the right everything for the building.
Sometimes these builders, they don't even create space, make places like, what do they call it, sewage areas. They don't do that thing, and that is drainages, and that's the reason why you see this building collapsing. Because when there's raining season, or when something goes to the building, obviously there's no place for those dirt to move. They're going to go to the roots of the building,
and it will impact on the building.
Exactly.
So we do hope that builders in Onitsha, not just Onitsha, Anambra State, even Nigeria, because we hear building collapse here and there. I mean, you should do better. You should do better. Anyways, Adama, we've totally exhausted our time. Thank you so much for joining us today. And like we said, by 12 noon, by 6 p.m., we're going to know exactly what is happening all over the country, to know who are protesting and what is happening. But in the meantime, kindly stay safe wherever it is you are, and be on the right path of the law. My name is Chioma Vic Chukwemeka, also known as Oma Sweetheart on radio and TV and social media.
My name is Adoma Izokeke. Thanks for watching.
Bye-bye.
Bye.